Hi. We've scanned our drawing that we made, and I decided to do Cece, who is a Pekingese, and I want it to be very stylized and cartoon-like. And Pekingese's definition that they belong to royalty in China, and they were part butterfly, they were part princess, and they were part monkey. And we always called her Monkey, and so I thought it fit really well to draw her like this. And we're going to start by placing it in Photoshop like we have when we did the image trace, and come in and place the layer. And I have placed this into the back layer, and there it is, and I've got the eye with it on, and I have locked it so that it will always be there. And then for each layer above that, I'm going to turn on the eyeball, and that I made with the ellipse shape tool, and I made sure I didn't have it uniform, and I used it with the brush line, and it was filled with a darker color than she is. And then I've got the nose, which I made with the shape tool as well, more cartoon-like, and the line from the mouth. And then I have a nostril on each side of the nose, and as you see that I'm locking these as I go. And then I decided to go ahead and make her hair a little less stylized, a little bit more curved like a cartoon hair. And I did 4 of those and 5 of those, and then I selected them all, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, and copied it and pasted it and reflected. And then I'm about to do the same thing. I've got that one on that side for around her muzzle, the drawing that I have there. I have the next one, the third one, and then I grouped them together and pasted it and reflected it. And now I have her mouth, which I've been making it with these curve tools, and I'll show you in just a second. And then I started with her 2 eyeballs, and then I have a whole lot more to do with her eyeballs. So far there's where I am, and I'm going to come down and turn off that shape of her head, because then I can't really see what I'm doing. I could do the same thing and turn off the eyeballs, but I think I will skip that for now and show you how I've made these hair pieces and do a couple eyebrows for her. So all of my layers are locked, and they're all there, and I'm using my drawing as the reference point, and I'll start by adding a new layer, and it shows up here as layer 21. And I'm using this curve tool to create those because I like the way that it feels and the color, and I want it to be this color, so I'm changed it to that, and it has just a line with no fill. And I'll go back to the curve tool, and right now I have it at 6 points and touch calligraphy, so I'm going to come right there and put it right across there. And didn't arc very well, so we'll try it again. And I'm going to change it to the fuzzy line again. I'm going to change it under uniform to more one like that. Oh, wait, it's not curving right for me. Let's see, arc tool. I must have been on the line tool. So it's making a straight line, which I don't want. So I'll just trash it and try it again. New layer. And I want the arc tool, not the line segment tool. I've got the color and everything there. And now you see that it is now making a curved line like an arc. It is at 1 point, and I've been having them be 5 or 6 points. And then I make it either like that or turn on the fuzz, and now it's back to 1 point. Turn it on 5 points. That might be a little too furry. Try 3 points. Alright, and now I don't have to draw every single one of those because that one is about the way that I like it. So I'll go to Edit and copy it. And then I'll lock this layer because I'm now done with it. I've copied it and everything. I'll add a new layer. I'll paste it in front because that's where I want it to be. And then that'll allow me just to move it over. That it's adding a new arc tool. I actually want it to be on that arrow, and it's not selected, so I'm going to select it by clicking this button right there, and then that way I can move the fur of it over. And then those two look good where the arm placement. I could use those two right over here. So I'll show you how I did that. That I need to unlock it, unlock this first one, and I need to hold down my shift key and select both of them. That 1, 2 selected, and now I'll copy again, and that's going to copy both of those at the same time. Now I can lock them back, add a new layer, and paste. Alright, and there they are. And they're not in the right place, but they're also not going the right direction. So I'm going to go to Transform and Reflect, which I can do a vertical or horizontal reflection. Vertical is what I need, it's side by side. Horizontal is up and down. So I'll click OK. And now they're going the way of this fur. So now I can just move them up here where they should be, right there. That may not be exactly like my underneath drawing, but what really matters is how it starts to look when you've got your background shape of what you're drawing on. And let's see, let's get it over there and lock it down and see how it turned out. And now she's got the eyebrows and everything coming along. So I could draw on top of the circle for the eye and keep adding to the eye and details like I did to the nose. If I want to put a shape in for her body, you know, and then she's wearing this big butterfly, I can just come down here. This is layer 1, which is, or layer 6, which the body shape was in. So I'm going to add a layer right next to it for the other layer. So there's a new layer right there. I'm going to choose my eyedropper, so I make sure I have the same color for the layer. That, see, that is a select, move. Eyedropper is here somewhere. Pencil, ellipse, arc, pen, eraser. Trying to find the eyedropper. It has disappeared. Oh, there it is right there. And there's the color I want, and here's the stroke, and this is the color I want for the stroke. Go back and try that again. There. Alright, so now I have the same color as I had for the body, and I come back and draw another ellipse on this layer. And if it's not quite in the right place, it's not the end of the world, because I can take that segment now and move it. And it is overlapping that top layer, so I'll show you how to fix that in a second. And now we're going to change it to funky shape, and we'll change it to this. And it's at 1 point, so we had it at 6 points. Now that still has that drawn, hand-drawn, fuzzy look that I have for the others. And now you see that it's overlapping this one. I want this one to overlap it. So all I did was drag the layer right on top like in Photoshop. And it's a little bit too long for her body, so I'll bring that up again. And then once again, I'll lock it. And since both of those are in the way of seeing my drawing, I'll turn off the eyeballs so I can continue on with drawing things on top of it. So now I have that shape, probably have oval shapes here as well for the legs. That might be the easiest way to do it. So one more time, add another layer. We've got the oval set up. I'm not on the right layer thing. Here's the oval. Come here and do the outside, the fuzz, the size, and next I want to do our distort tool that I showed you last time. It is under the flower, and we can try warp and see if that makes it look more like what I want it to do. Or let's see, maybe the first thing is to bloat it some, because we're trying to make it look like a leg. I don't think that's bad if I flipped it. So let's take that over here. That maybe be elbow, and transform, reflect, and put it there like that for the body. There's the body shape, the head shape. And then I can transform it some more. Make sure I've selected it here on the side. And this is free transform right here. And she's got really funny looking arm, leg, feet things. But have you seen a Pekingese with their haircut? They have them look like walking rugs for a reason, because their bodies are really kind of funky looking, like I've got that there. And then I'm going to copy it again and paste. Whoops, I don't want to paste it on the same layer here, because when we move it, it'll move everything. So I will lock that layer down and put on a new layer and paste it. Paste in front. And then object transform reflect. Okay. And then she's got the funny looking little legs to go with her body. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to design the feel of the butterfly wings, and then I have a crown up here on top as well. But I can just keep adding shape, adding lines, adding all the decorative elements, and build them on top of one another, one at a time, until I've got that feel. It should be up here. As my Pekingese cartoon drawing that I wanted to make. And now, in order to see my drawing underneath so I can keep working on it, I have to turn those 3 off, as well as, oops, I unlocked them rather than turning them off. Turn them off. Okay, so I can continue to building